companies that have both EAR and ITAR control technology, can you discuss some practical considerations and risks associated with migrating to the cloud? This goes for companies that have both EAR and ITAR controlled technology, some practical considerations and risks associated with migrating to the cloud. Who'd like to go with that one first?
Sure. This is Melissa. I'd be glad to touch on that one. I think that until the State Department comes out with its bookend rules for cloud computing, it's going to be really hard for companies that have both EAR and ITAR, because the ITAR right now still requires you to keep your data in the United States and to have U.S. network administrators who have access to that data. So it means for a lot of companies a few things. It means you can sort of go with the lowest common denominator and treat all of your EAR and ITAR technical data the same for cloud purposes. I mean, you still have to mark it separately, and you have to classify the technical data, know what's ITAR and what's EAR. But in terms of if you want one integrated solution, you could keep it all together, but apply the ITAR standards, and which is going to be more costly for your company because it requires keeping it in the U.S. and having U.S. persons. Or you could go through the exercise, if it makes sense in your programs, to parse through what's EAR, what's ITAR, and separate it, and use different cloud service solutions, or just finally just keep everything locally still and not do the cloud. I think it gets kind of hard trying to parse through and do separate solutions because, especially as a result of export control reform, you might have a program that you're working on that, the overall program is maybe something that relates to military aircraft, which is going to be ITAR controlled, but to the extent that you're dealing with all these little parts and components, little switches and clips and things, those things are going to be EAR controlled, and so it could be hard because you could have a single engineer in the course of his duties in one day dealing with both EAR and ITAR technical data. So in that case, I think a lot of companies will either just put everything in an ITAR compliant cloud solution, or just continue to host things locally without going cloud until DDTC issues its rulemaking.